People want the original. People want the first. But word of mouth really is my best method.
And I want a good show, damn it. Ready for a good show?
Doing awesome, yeah. I'm excited to talk to you, Angie. Thank you for having me.
Yes!
I've always been doing big into archery, and my dad said, hey, you guys want to start an archery store?
That's how I was.
Andrew, yes, of course, let's do this together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. I am your host, as usual, Andrew Maff, and today I am joined by the amazing Diane Pietrasik, who is the managing director as well as the global brand manager at Steven Plastics, as well as Hair Doctor Products. Diane, how are you ready? You ready for a good show? Ready to do this?
So, Andrew, standing by, ready.
That's great. Very excited to have you on the show. It's a very interesting background, very interesting brand. There's a ton of story around it. I know it's been around for years. I don't want to be the one to obviously tell the story. That's why we have you on the show today. So I would love to do the usual and kind of give you the opportunity here. Let us know, kind of where you got started, and obviously tell us a little bit more about Hair Doctor.
Well, I'd love to do it. And I guess the best way to kick it off is to say the reluctant entrepreneur. So
Okay.
years and years in business and sales for Xerox and every other major corporation. And I really wanted to kick back, relax, do something interesting. However, my husband had grandiose ideas, very forward thinking, and in 2015, he purchases a manufacturing company. He tells me he's going to do this, and I said, sure, why not? So as I entered the company, I'm looking. It's like going into a foreign land. There are machines pumping out parts and aerospace metals and plastic screws and bolts, and I'm fascinated, but I'm dumbfounded. I mean, clearly I've watched how it's made many times, but I've never actually been to a factory and seen it done. But the more interesting part of the story is when he bought the company, I had no idea that Steven Plastics was the actual inventor of a product, the original rotating tooth comb. And it took me months, and I discovered there were two brands, the Hair Doctor brand and the Untangler brand. Hair Doctor for human hair and Untangler for pets. And I still didn't think anything of it. But what I discovered is the inventor worked at Steven Plastics 25 years ago, and the contract he had was with Revlon. And I really don't know how the story got started, but I believe he had to invent an item for their kickoff meeting in January, believe it or not, 20 years ago. And he invented a rotating tooth comb for Revlon. And the reason the comb was really pretty cool is rotating teeth significantly reduce the pulling force on hair. So when you're combing your hair, when it's wet, your hair naturally stretches, and you can stretch pretty long. However, color-treated hair or fragile hair or thinning hair or aging hair, people really benefit. And I had no idea. So eventually, Revlon never picked up the line, but the inventor got a patent, worked at Steven Plastics. We began to produce it. So when I looked at the line, I really didn't think much of it. I said, oh, it's a comb. How great. And then I went through some old boxes, and I started reading fan mail, and people loved it. And the fan mail said it helped. And the fan mail said I've been using it for 20 years. And the fan mail said really, really works. So that's when I started doing my homework. That's when I got inspired. I tried the comb myself finally. It took me a while, but I tried the comb myself and I was hooked. The more I explored, the better it got. And I did a lot of things first. I started a new website. I launched it on Amazon. I started talking to all our customers. I found out that Hair Doctor rotating tooth combs is one of the biggest brands in the country of the Philippines, of all places.
Really?
So that's what I said. So I started talking to the distributor and a lot of the users. And a lot of the users who now live in the U.S., approximately 4.6 million Filipinos, are so excited to find that Hair Doctor still exists. So my mission is really to inspire people to take a look and enable them to test the product. I mean, the product really is pretty cool. And the pins actually create a result. It's a very affordable, low-cost way to really do something good for yourself. And again, you make progress in inches. It's really, really helpful. And so I'm on a mission. I really am. And we added colors, and we added designs, and we added styles, and we added the mini comb, and on and on and on. So it's inspiring to talk to people, and I want it to grow. But it's not really known in the USA.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. What makes it so prevalent in the Philippines and it not picking up in the States? Do you know?
I don't. so one of the, but it is catching fire. When people see it, people discover it, they love it. Yeah. And, on your bell curve of people, most really want to use it. I get comments every day on Amazon and my own website where people tell me exactly why it works. For thick hair, it really entangles with not a lot of pulling. I'm losing less hair in the sink, they say. And even guys, they say it's small, it's convenient, it doesn't pull. It gets through the thick hair or my thin hair. It's a small little thing. And why would there be so much excitement on such a small little thing? Yeah. But there are millions of competitors out there. Yeah. But Hair Doctor really is the only comb in the world with a collection of rotating teeth.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's one of those things where like the comb itself is a product that has been around for, I don't even know, probably I think cavemen had combs, but like no one ever really thought like, hey, maybe there's something here that can actually be improved. And you happen to stumble across it after basically becoming an owner in a manufacturing facility, which is fantastic. And so obviously now I assume you guys own the complete contract for it. You own the patent behind it. It's 100% yours now, correct? Or is the old inventor involved at all?
Well, no, the old inventor actually retired. And part of the reason Revlon, as the story goes, part of the reason Revlon was so interested is the inventor tells the story. He used to hear his daughter cry out every time his wife combed her hair. And he said, "What's the deal with the comb?" So we started to pull it apart and he started to look at it. And he noticed how the static pins would actually abruptly pull harder on the base of the hair follicle. And he really was an inventor and really, created what they call the Honeycomb Spine. So the Honeycomb Spine is really the secret. So each pin within the spine rotates independently. So you're not getting a consistent pull. The comb will move and jive and glide. And when it hits a knot, it'll work around it, or it'll, stop moving where you can actually untangle it. So anyway, no, he's no longer with the company. But he offers advice every so often. He currently lives in Hawaii, of all places. And right,
good retirement.
He currently says hello on occasion.
Nice. So you had mentioned obviously that this was years and years ago that this had happened. So what was it? How was it originally brought to market? How did he even manage to get it picked up in the Philippines originally before you took it over?
No, I truly wish I knew the answer to that. It's vague.
It just happened.
I really don't know. But I just can't put the pieces together.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's the one that made the introduction. I wish I knew, but our partner in the Philippines, La Roche Accessories, has been selling the comb for 25 years, and it is very well established brand. As a matter of fact, some of the funniest comments on Hair Doctor are from my Filipino brand users who say their mothers say, "Where's my Hair Doctor?" I mean, they just call it by name as they're looking.
It's like Kleenex.
So.
That's great. What's your current plan with the business? Like, obviously, are you still trying to kind of get it to pick up more in the States? You mentioned, obviously, you have your own website, which I've seen. You've got it on Amazon. What's the plan with the business going forward?
Well, the plan is really, I think, a three-pronged approach. One, talking to you on podcasts. Two, check. Talking to people, inspiring them, maybe working with an influencer, really working on Google ads for certain times of the market. Christmas stocking stuffers, great idea. Valentine's, cool, unique gifts. The pink mini comb and the red mini combs, the hottest gift for Valentine's Day. St. Patrick's Day, our green combs come out in emerald green, and year round. It's easy to carry. You have pocket sizes. You have extra long. We even have 2 or 3 larger combs for the professional. So many salons currently carry the comb, which is pretty fantastic. And then I realized we're really focusing on the hair side of the business, but rotating tooth technology was also applied to pet combs. So in 2004, we introduced the rotating tooth for the pet comb, and really popular, very humane. As a matter of fact, if pets could speak, they would be the ones endorsing the comb. They really do. They really notice the difference, especially when they're being groomed.
How has the pet side of the business been doing?
In our distributors, we do have UK, Europe, Australia. So on that side of the business, doing pretty well. I think a little bit stronger than Hair Doctor. But I do believe the Hair Doctor brand has a little less competition. There are some well-known brands in the U.S., but the rotating tooth comb really could see a new emergence. People who want a simple, affordable, easy way to not damage their hair every day. Yeah. And look, there are a lot of people that don't know they are damaging their hair, but looking good is it. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I try to look good all the time. It doesn't work out, but hey, at least I'm trying.
But when your hair doesn't look good, I mean, women and hair, it's really,
my wife is.
You gotta look good.
Yeah, same with my dogs. I have a golden retriever, and I'm already like, I need to comb him with one of these things.
You do. Yeah, you go, what is your pet's name?
Jack.
All right, Jack needs to speak for me when he tries out the comb. You'll notice the difference. I mean, he will. He'll sit down and lay at your feet, and he'll enjoy it more than you will.
I'm sure he will. The golden retriever, he loves getting that all the time. The one of the things I was curious about, so the product in itself, it's one of those like, yeah, duh, obviously that makes a ton of sense. So when you have something like that is so differentiated, but also an easy tweak, right? Like you take a standard comb with a very still tooth to it, changing it out, obviously you've got the manufacturing around it, but if it's got that type of approach, how are you dealing with the competition of like people trying to rip off that concept? Do you have a lot of people that are making their own rotating teeth that you kind of have to have fun legal battles with?
Probably I shouldn't say 2.2 billion, but the population of China really is trying to rip it off. Yeah. They haven't really been successful yet. But there are a lot of Asians that order the comb, and clearly you certainly can reverse engineer anything. Yeah. You've got to make the mold. As a matter of fact, the more interesting part of the business is, in order to make the product, you got to make the mold. And what I learned a lot about manufacturing is the terms. It's manufacturing, it's parts, it's the hopper, it's how you build the mold. Do you realize that a mold has water lines to cool the product as you remove it? I mean, there's so much to learn. So yes, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Asians, they can duplicate all those things. Yeah. I have gotten some feedback that, they've duplicated some of the combs, but they're not that good yet. And one of the secrets in the Philippines is they want the original. So the term original Hair Doctor rotating tooth comb really is our claim to fame. People want the original. People want the first. And if I found a way to connect, promote, I'm getting there, but word of mouth really is my best method, and working with podcasts, maybe even the Dennis Prager show, doing radio advertising really seems to work. I'm working with a few people who have podcasts, and every time they advertise on Saturday night, I get a whole host of orders. So it's working. So the podcast works. People's enthusiasm works. We're even doing a contest. Send me a video and earn 25% off on your next order. So I'd love to invite your audience to buy a comb, do a video, and let's have fun together. Let's do something exciting together. I'm in search of my newest influencer. So if you're a podcast as influencer, step right up. That was actually going to be my next question, because this has social media and influencer marketing written all over it. How has that approach been going for you? Has it something you've kind of dabbled in? Slow start, but I am open. So somebody who high energy, enthusiastic, but really means it, uses it, really means it. I'd love to connect with someone like Rihanna. Who started her own prosthetic line, right? But to enhance it, what about a beautiful comb? Or any beautiful young lady who has the cosmetic line, or a distributor like Sephora would be really a great match for me. Even Dolly Parton. I mean, Dolly Parton started her own pet line. She could, private label. So I'm
come on, Dolly.
Women, yes, women who want to private label. So I would rather just be a wonderful manufacturer and really help launch the label for someone else who really wants to, leverage the brand. Yeah. So it would be fun. It would be exciting. Why not? want to build something.
Yeah, I would think that even seeding micro influencers would do fantastic as well. Because while it would be amazing for someone like Rihanna or Dolly Parton to hop on, which I know are common listeners of our show, I feel like the micro side, because there's so many beauty influencers out there that you really could look at. Like the product is obviously it's a comb. It's not the world's most expensive thing. So giving it to micro influencers to help them create some content, using that content to then develop your own advertising, like from a social perspective, I think this has TikTok written all over it. Because I know this audience especially would be a lot more interested in something like this that's a lot at a lower price point than something that's like some ridiculous, crazy makeup stuff that's always hundreds of dollars. Is insane.
Use it at home. I mean, it can be fun. It's effective. It's got brushes, etc. The whole family can use it. It works on most hair, probably not the best for wired hair, but every other hair type in the world. It's really, really wonderful. Yes, I put a challenge out to your podcast audience. Find me, connect with me. Let's influence.
Beautiful. Actually, it is a beautiful segue to the first. Obviously, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you being on here. I would love for you to let our listeners know where can they find out more about you and, of course, more about Hair Doctor.
Oh, I would love to tell you. Our website, www.hairdoctorproducts.com or Amazon.com. Search for Hair Doctor Rotating Tooth Combs. You're in. My Pillow on my store carries Hair Doctor Combs, another source. Oh. And of course, my new influencer, whomever it might be. They're
listening right now.
The next, right. The next link.
Beautiful. Diane, thank you so much for being on the show. Obviously, everyone who tuned in, thank you as well. Please make sure you do the usual thing, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff on whichever podcast platform you prefer, or head over to theecomshow.com to check out all of our previous episodes. But as usual, thank you all for joining us. Diane, thank you as well. And we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the E-Comm Show. Head over to ecomshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The E-Comm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the E-Comm Show.